welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be replicating a real-life plane that was suggested to me by Wesup7601, and they suggested the Havilland Sea Vixen, which is one of their favorite planes out there. So I went and looked it up, and this is what it looks like. It's a pretty cool, like, jet fighter looking plane with this twin boom tail, I guess it's called. Now, I originally thought this was going to be like a seaplane because it's called the Sea Vixen, but it actually doesn't seem to float on the water based off of all the pictures in this article show it having wheels. It is apparently meant to be on an aircraft carrier in the ocean, but not on the ocean. And I was trying to look at, it says it's supposed to be a defense fighter. So I was trying to look at what kind of weaponry it's supposed to have, like guns or what it is. And it says it was supposed to be solely armed with missiles, rockets, and bombs. So no guns. I guess it was the first fighter operated by the Fleet Air Arm with no gun armament. 145 were constructed, 55 were lost in accidents. It was also capable of going supersonic, although the article specifies not in a horizontal trajectory. I don't know if mine's going to be able to go supersonic. Probably not. If we're actually going to build it to look like this, the aerodynamics and Trailmakers with the size and thrust potential, I don't think we're going to be able to get supersonic unless we do like a drag glitch or something. Oh, and apparently this picture is the last airworthy Sea Vixen. All right, let's get building this thing. I'm trying to choose like what would be a good scale. Let's choose some colors here. It's definitely kind of like a grayish. Or do we want like the slightly blue gray? Oh yeah, there we go. That's the gray right there. All right, so when I'm looking at the wings, they kind of like, I think this would be too small of a scale if I do this, but the wings kind of give like this vibe, but then it would be a very small scale Sea Vixen. I don't know if I can get away with this. I would need this to be bigger. Yeah, I don't know about that yet. Let's start building. I need to put thrust in here. So it's got like, it says it's got twin thrusters. So I think if I stack maybe some of these like in here on either side of the cockpit, because I think that's kind of where they are in the original design. So that should be enough thrust. Okay, let's turn on our aerodynamics as well. So if we do this, then it has this like kind of bulbous thing going through the wings. I'm wondering if I can recreate that, probably using this. But we're going to need it to attach somehow. Now, the problem with this is this gives us like there's no like center point. This is just a too thick wing if I try to build off of this. So I might need to like, I don't know, like if the wing is like that, you know, then we could at least have it sticking out on the top. And I think that's kind of how it is. It looks like it's sticking out more on the top, but not the bottom. So that might actually work. But how do we get this to also attach? Because these engines are... Well, I guess we could rotate an inner engine and have this be an attachment point down here. Yeah, that could work. So now if I look at that wing again, I am wondering if we attach it to the outside here, if this kind of looks right, you know? That's not looking too bad. All right, so then I kind of wanted to be like roundish on the top, but this might look weird. The only way I can really make it roundish is with this. I don't know, that might look a little bit too weird. Like the actual closest thing we have to what I'm looking for shape-wise won't look right paint-wise because it's automatically shiny, but it would essentially be this, but we don't have like a good rounded piece for the end because this doesn't apply. I don't know, I think just having the line, like a flat line going through might make the most sense when it comes to the game aesthetics. This wing does actually fit centered this way. It actually doesn't look too bad. Okay, so now we need this thing to have a tail. We got the twin boom tail. So do I use these smaller ones? These bigger ones seem like they are going to be too big. Yeah, they're going to be too big, especially if I put the curve on there. The elevators are pretty good with applying drag, so the small ones might be good enough, because I'm also trying... I need to add some extra blocks. I'm going to make it look bigger because I'm going to add the curve or the angle as well. Also, interestingly enough, it seems to have the cockpit offset to one side, and there's like another thing to the right of the cockpit, at least in this image. So I could try to replicate something like that. But then that might give us a problem for the nose, maybe. I think for the sake of simplicity, I'm not going to use landing gear. I'm just going to pretend like the landing gear is always retracted. Giving it the right nose shape is not easy. We have like cones, but the cone options that I have are like not the right dimensions. Like if I do this, it's kind of way too big of a nose. It needs to be this, but like shrunk down just like by a block on all sides. Because now if I'm doing this, which looks great for a nose, it looks way too big. Does it? Does it look way too big? Or does it look fine? It's hard to tell. Now like this is gonna be really, like the whole belly is gonna be really big though if I do it this way. I'd have to, I mean, maybe it is a big belly. It's not that big. See, now with this size, this wing is definitely not nearly big enough for the scale. I think it would be better, even though it's going to be technically less objectively accurate, I think the vibe will be better if I stick to a central cockpit at this scale. I honestly think it's just going to look so much better. Because then, I don't know, the nose, everything's just going to look better, I think, more accurate. Yeah, look at that nose. Maybe just a little bit pointier. Yeah, that looks more like the nose that we're going for. Okay, I'm happy with this decision. All right, back to the tail. So if this is pretty much the tail and I duplicate to the other side, how much space we got in here? So if I put one of these in here, it is, of course, not centered. All right, what if I put a couple of, can I fit 2 of these in here? No, I don't think I can because these are 3 blocks wide. Oh, no. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, because, yeah, there you go. 3 plus 3 is 6. All right. So now that's what the tail's looking like. I think looks fine. How are we doing? Are we doing pretty good right now? All right. Well, obviously the top of this doesn't look great right now. So it kind of looks like there's an interesting extension in the middle. I don't know, like this. Sure. Let me take some shield pieces to kind of cover up the thrusters. All right, let's do a test with what we have right now. I didn't look at my center of mass at all. Let's see how the flight feels. No, pretty level. Oh, the faster we go, the more pitch, the more upwards we pitch. But as far as controllability goes, this is actually feeling pretty good. I can definitely lower, I increased my angles of my roll controls, and I should not have done that. Those wings are pretty aggressive. All right, this is feeling pretty good so far. There is actually one downside to using these big wings. There's like a lot of upsides aesthetically to them, but the one downside is they're kind of like, they're not, I guess they are a little bit tapered on the back, but they're a little bit more flat than I would want them to be. All right, so these are way too much. Let's go slower speed. Let's go like 10-degree angle. All right, that's definitely feeling a little bit more reasonable. Man, this thing actually flies really well. All right, we need to weaponize this thing though. It supposedly has like bombs and missiles. So it looks like there are missile things attached to the wings, and we have like a nice attachment point right here. We got our rocket launcher there, which does not attach centered very well on that, but let's see if we can make that look a little bit better. Oh, we can't, because we can't attach things to the wing. It has to be just like that. Oh, that does look weird, doesn't it though? We don't have a weapon that will be centered that are like rockets. Unless we put the rockets closer to the inside. And then maybe we could have a fake, like just aesthetic thing attached to the wing there. Does that look too ridiculous? I feel like that looks weird. Like it's too big. But if I reduce it to half, then we just have like this awkward flat part. What if I flip it upside down? Guess that looks a little bit more reasonable. Is it worth it to have that there to give like a rocket vibe? Or what if we do like this? Does that look even better? That probably looks even better. All right, well, we do got rockets, and we got these pretend things. I should put bombs. We can totally fit I think we can fit bombs in the air. What are the bomb bay dimensions? Oh, it's annoying. They're gonna be sticking out in a weird way. So I guess we could actually add a little bit more of a belly to this thing. Now, if we do this, we technically have room, maybe back here, where we can insert bomb bay. And yeah, look at that. It merges perfectly with the bottom there. Bomb bays will be space. Nope. Space is my thrust. Bomb bays will not be space. Bomb bays will be control. All right, still doing really good on our center of lift. Like, we fly so level. Then we got left rocket and right rocket on left click and right click. Oh, let's check our speed too. And I accidentally dropped my bombs when I checked my speed. All right. And bombs. Yeah, this thing's actually pretty epic. This is a really good plane. All right, let's paint it up a little bit. Make it look a little bit more interesting. So the stuff on the bottom is kind of like this off-white color. Let's see if I can actually just take the whole bottom of this and just give it a big old decal. Yeah, just like that. And then this very bottom layer here gets painted in that decal as well. Or in that color, I mean. But not the nose and not the tail. And unfortunately, because I did this decal on the bottom, that means I can't put decals on the top of the wings. Because you can only have one decal per part. All right, how's this thing look? I mean, let's compare. We got the Wikipedia image. And I'm gonna try to maintain a similar flight trajectory and angle right here. How's it look? I think it's not too bad. I mean, it's definitely, we have less detail for sure, because we're the scale, the size of the blocks that we're building with are pretty small. But I think this thing is actually a pretty good, like, considering I was just going purely for form over function, I think the function is actually really good. Okay, let's do some real tests of flight here. Gonna do some precision flying. Let's shoot some things, bomb that pillar right there. Go up through the mountain pass. Uh-oh, uh-oh, uh-oh. All right, well, we need to tune the controls a little bit. It's a little too aggressive on the roll still. All right, angle, maybe like 5-degree angle. Speed, I don't even slower on the speed for the roll. Like, my pitch feels great. Pitch feels fine, but these large wings for the roll, like, they're a little aggressive. I also do have yaw. Doesn't work that great. Okay, this thing's hard to fly precisely. If you have open air, it feels amazing. Once you have to start doing these like fine-tuned movements, then it becomes a little bit more challenging. Well, we should be able to get through this no problem if we start off from far away and have time to level ourselves off. Let's try to go through one of the lower ones. They're a lot skinnier, and I'm approaching from a worse angle. Okay, that actually went pretty well. Let's see if we can actually, we'll bank this way first, do a wide turn, try to go through the left side this time, which actually looks much more obstructed. Oh, all right, that actually worked out pretty well. And this is the enemy carrier. Let's see if we can go ahead and bomb it. All right, ready, nose down. Boop, boop, boop. Oh, I hit myself. That's fine. We're resilient. We got redundancy. Just took out a little bit of our engine power. All right, now, of course, no plane can be called a success unless you can land it and walk away. So let's come back to our own home carrier. Land this thing, even though we've taken some damage. And don't even need landing gear. All right, definitely not going supersonic. I actually never did look at what the max speed was. Man, look at that smooth level takeoff though. I mean, we're definitely a little heavy flying horizontal. We do fall, but we're not like nosing down. Our nose is staying like pretty good. But our speed's pretty fast actually. We're reaching, you know, 450 kilometers an hour. And if we're not even in horizontal flight, if we're going down, yeah, we can get closer to 480. But supersonic, definitely not happening in this thing. All right, super cool plane. I can see why you like it a lot. It's very fun to fly as well, even in Trailmakers. If you guys have any other suggestions on things you think would be a cool thing to try to replicate in Trailmakers to see how it controls or how it behaves, let me know down in the comments below. If you guys enjoyed this video, you'll probably enjoy some more. You can find right here on the end screen. Hope this video has earned your subscription. Anyway, this has been ScrapMan, and I'll see you next time. Bye.